Hello everyone, welcome back to Commerce Square. This is episode number 2. I am CMA Bibin Chandran. In this video, we are going to check out the latest buzzes and news across commerce professional courses. So don't wait, let's get into it. The most talked about discussion for the past couple of weeks have been the signing authority and tax audit about CA, CMA and CS. There have been a rule change in the past that CMAs and CS were also allowed to do tax audit, something like that. So a discussion was opened whether they are eligible to do the tax audit. But in the newly introduced tax regime, it is clearly stated that only chartered accountants are allowed to do the tax audit. So what does that mean? Is it going to change anything? Absolutely not. The CAs, chartered accountants, are allowed to do the tax audit. CMAs have the cost audit and CS have their own privileges, which is distinguishedly separated from CA and CMA. The problem is, if all the qualifications and professional bodies have the same powers and privileges, then what is the requirement for 3 professional bodies? You can just simply have one and give a single title. But you have a CA, you have a CMA, you have a CS. So you have 3 separate professional bodies and 3 of them should have separate powers, privileges and authorities. At the moment, it's staying that way, but in the future, there will be some overlapping where CS can do the CMA's cost auditing, where CMAs can do the tax audit. Those kind of things can happen in the future, but at the moment, CMAs have their own privileges and CS can have the tax auditing privilege. As far as Indian CMA is concerned, they do have certain powers and responsibilities. I will just read some of them. One is a cost audit. I have already mentioned it. According to the Companies Act 2013, they are entitled to do the cost audit. CMAs can also be considered as internal auditor for certain companies. They can do the risk management, internal control, fraud prevention, etc. Then they can do the valuation of business, especially the asset valuation. All those things can be done by the CMAs. They are also authorized to certify GST related statements, reconciliation reports and tax filing also. CMAs can do bank audits also. They can conduct stock audits, forensic audits, concurrent audits for banks and NBFCs. So these are just few of the more privileged powers that Indian CMA possesses. So it doesn't matter if you don't have the tax audit power. Yes, that is a pretty big thing, but that is for the CS. So if any overlapping happens in the future, we will welcome that also. Anyway, these discussions are going on in the social medias between CAs, CMAs and CS. Coming back to our CMA viewers, our February window is coming to end. Most of the students have written the exam. Those who have written the exam in the January window, they will have the results coming out in March second week around 10 to 14. That will be the time when IMA releases the scores for January window. One sad news also, one of the students who watches this channel have messaged me and said she booked the exam for February window. She went to the exam. She carried the Aadhaar card as the ID proof. So the Aadhaar card nowadays, we don't get delivered through the post. We can download it from the Aadhaar website. Then we will make it as a card. She submitted that particular card, but the Prometric Center Authority said this is a duplicate one, this is not the original one, this is a copied version. So they said they won't accept the copied version, they want the original. And she was not allowed to sit for the exam and she lost her entire exam fees. She's not getting that back because once you are not allowed to sit for the exam, that exam is cancelled. That's why I always say be careful and accurate about your names. There should not be any mistakes and be clear about which ID proof you are going to submit. I will say passport is the safest option because if you're going with passport, there is absolutely no chance they will deny you for the exam. But the only thing you have to remember is if you're going with passport, then you should have the name in the IMA profile which matches the name in the passport. Both the names should be same because in passport, as you know, the names are elaborated. If you have an initial, the initial will be expanded. You have to make sure that expansion is also there in the IMA profile. In that case, passport is the safest option. So this girl, she went there, she submitted the Aadhaar card but was not approved. So if any of you are going to write the exam with Aadhaar card, please be careful. I will always prefer the driving license and as well as passport. Then another student, she booked the exam for 5 o'clock or something. That is a newly added time in the Prometric Center because normally the exams were for 8:30 and 11:30 something, 12:30. They have added a new timing, that is 5 o'clock. And she started traveling in the morning via train for the exams. I think it was in Trivandrum. But unfortunately, as you know, the Indian Railway have a history that they won't be there on time. This particular train got pulled so many times that she was not able to get there in time. So her exam time was 5 o'clock. She reached there at around 5:30. So she already called the promontory center and explained the situation, but they said if you can come before 5 o'clock, they will allow you to sit for the exam. But unfortunately, she landed in Trivandrum around 5 o'clock. Then it again take around 30 minutes to go to the promontory center. Unfortunately, she was not allowed to sit for the exam. She also lost her valuable money. So for those students who spends this much amount for an exam, you have to be very careful. The exam centers, the promontory center is not going to be very helpful to you. They don't show any mercy. They have their own strict protocols. They have their own rules and regulations. They can only follow that. Because if it's a school exam or a college exam, the invigilator may let you in. This is not like that. This is a professional exam. If the exam is at 5 o'clock, you should be there at 3 p.m. at least. That's the safest thing you can do. Don't be late and don't trust on the public transport system. If there is an exam very far away from your home, go and stay there the day before exam. That is the best thing to do. Because you don't know what is going to happen on the day of the exam. You cannot trust the Indian Railway. You cannot trust KSRTC. You cannot trust the government transport system. And even if you're going by your own vehicle, it's a car or a bike, you never know, there could be huge traffic blocks. So these are the major important news. And at Nexus International, we are going to start our first offline batch in May for CMA USA and as well as CA. We are going to have an offline batch for Chartered Accountancy also in Nexus International. And we will be conducting a scholarship exam. We already conducted a scholarship exam and rewarded the students. We will be conducting a offline scholarship exam for the students from Kollam, Alappuzha, Trivandrum, Pathanamthitta districts, the 4 districts from the south. So these students can attend the offline scholarship exam and study CA, CMA USA for absolutely free if you're getting the good ranks in our exams. We will share the details of these exams in the upcoming videos and posters. So that's it from me. We will see you in another video. We will discuss about the latest news from commerce professional world. Okay, so I'm Bibin Chandran signing off. See you.